just decided that we wanted to learn more about how our tax dollars are spent, and we didn't think we had the right to complain if we don't look into it, educate ourselves a bit.
To educate myself as well on what the budget is and how much is spent in each department.
It's really important that before our administration actually tables a budget before council with suggestions for the capital and operating in the upcoming year, that we consult with our public and make sure that we are on the right track and that we're meeting the needs of our community.
We just did the little cup doos over there, and that sure does educate you on where most of the dollars go and how they're divided up.
I see though that we aren't adding anything, it's more maintaining and expanding what we already have, which I'd like to see maybe a couple of things added.
A substantial portion of the 2016 budget is already allocated, but those allocations are built upon the priorities that Red Deerians identified us in the previous year, and great examples of that, of those top priorities include transportation, various transportation measures, as well as community safety.
Policing's a big one. I think policing's really important right now with our problems that we're having in the community. And I'm glad that more police were added.
I think there's the resourcing issue. The city council is very supportive of the police here. But we also have to look at how we're doing business and making sure we're allocating our resources to do the right thing and using them effectively before we just simply go and ask for more bodies. But there's also, like, I've met community members today that are interested in working with us.
I mean, safety is always a concern for people. We're hearing lots around policing, enforcement, prevention initiatives, and initiatives for youth. And so we're really taking that to heart and how we might move forward with our amenities and our community recreation activities to really hit that prevention piece right from early years up.
Our job is to represent the will of the people at council, and we've responded to that through some of the various safety measures. So, for example, in last year's budget alone, we added more officers in order to reduce the caseload per officers and to increase clearance rates of our officers. We added funding to our alert team so that we could focus on organized crime in our region. And we added crime prevention dollars, recognizing that we need to get ahead of the curve. And all of those initiatives are a direct result of our citizens' input.
And the roads, snow plowing and things like that are really important for us.
And in recent years, a lot of the inquiries and areas of concern have been in our public works area, recognizing that Red Deer has grown so substantially in recent years that we've added subdivision after subdivision after subdivision. And the surface area of the community has grown so much that sometimes our budgets haven't kept pace with the basic maintenance that's required for snow removal or for pothole maintenance. And while those things are only a part of what Red Deer does in order to build a community, they're still an essential part of the core service that we provide to our citizens.
I think a particular age group is being missed, which is children between the ages of 12 and 18. They need something.
Red Deer is full of great things to do. It's really about what you want to do. We have parks, we have amenities, we have recreation, we have activities and groups, and our community is growing, and so are the options for youth. So I very much encourage them to connect with any of our city staff, and I'm positive we'd find something for youth to do in our community.
I think we've done some really good work with identifying priorities. The Canada Winter Games for us has earmarked a number of facility developments that we'll be focused on in the next 3 or 4 years in order to support that event. But what's important is the legacy that's left after. The day after the games, our community will have access to better improved facilities.
Well, it's the little guys that have the gully cut little baby pool or the parks right behind their house, but the teenagers they've been left out for a long time.
I think our focus certainly is on the entire community, but you can't get away from the fact that our youth want those spontaneous access opportunities. So we'll be seeing some development there over the next 3 or 4 years too. We'll be revitalizing the skate park downtown, as well as building out an additional spray park in the north end. So those two things, we've really seen the popularity of what we have existing, so we want to replicate that and do more of it because our community is growing.